Okay, so let us start. Welcome to the live lecture for week 10. So, this course is being conducted by Professor Rajaram Lakkaraju, Engineering Drawing and Computer Graphics. And today I will be conducting the live lecture. My name is Sanika and I'm doing PhD from Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. So let us today also try to solve a isometric problem. So just for revision, I will remind you that for drawing isometric projections, I'm sorry, isometric view of a 3D object, all you need to remember is that the isometric axes are as shown here. So this will be the baseline and two axes are like this at 30 degrees to the baseline, and whatever lines that you can project as true lengths can be parallel to either this axis or this axis. So if you have a something as a cuboid, then the length of this cuboid can be directly plotted over here. So this length, let's say AB, can be plotted as true length here. This length AC also can be plotted as true length here, directly picking up the distance that is given in the drawing. Similarly, this point D can also be plotted here, taking the true length of AD. But let's say instead of such a cuboid, instead of such a cuboid, you have something like this, which is a kind of a pyramid, which is a kind of a pyramid. So in this case, let us name this as A, this as B, this as C, and this as D and E. Now, in this case, if you observe, this line will be parallel to maybe this axis. Line AC can be parallel to this axis, but there is no line which can be parallel to the vertical axis. So, since AB can be parallel to this axis, you can plot it directly here. So, you can plot AB here directly. You can plot AB here directly. But to get the point D, you need to construct a cuboid outside this sort of a extruded triangle. And to locate point D, you need to go this distance above A. So you need to go this distance above A, and then you can go this distance to the right of A, parallel to this axis, similar to parallel to AB. And then you can locate this point D, and then you can join D to A and B. So if you try to measure the length, this D which is here, AD distance will not be equal to the actual AD distance. If we see from here and draw a front view of this one, it will look like this. And let's say you are given that this length is maybe 30 mm. But when you are drawing the isometric, you cannot get this length as 30 mm. This will be greater than 30 mm, and similarly dB will come less than 30 mm. So again now AC can be drawn parallel to this. So again to locate this point E, you need to first get this plane. First need to locate this plane. So to locate that plane, you need to go up from point C. This line is parallel to this axis, so you will go in that direction and then come down to get the point behind B. So again here to mark point E, what you need to do is go up by this distance, go to the right by this distance, and then locate the point E. And then you can join point E to C. So now E and D should be actually parallel. So otherwise, instead of drawing uh, this plane, you can also draw a line parallel through D. You can also draw a line parallel through D first here, and then you know that from the drawing you can see that AC and ED are same length. So you can go ahead and mark this length here and then locate the point E. So this is how this object will look in isometric. So let us try to solve a problem here. So this one, how you can approach this problem is, this is the top view, this is the front view, and this is the right view. So from here you can gather that this is some kind of a cube because or it can be a cuboid in general, but this is some kind of a cube here. So that cube is already given here as a guideline. And now what we'll do is we will try to name the points of this cuboid that we have drawn here on the right side, this cuboid. So if we name the vertices of this cube, let us name it as A, B, C and D. And towards the back side, I'll have a point E here, E. I'll mark this as F, G and H. Okay, so now when I'm seeing from here, this is the front view. So in front view, my point A, B will correspond to point A here, point B here. Here I'll have point C or G. Similarly, here I'll have point D, comma H. Behind A, I'll have point E, and behind point B, I'll have F. So now I have D and H here, D and H. Here I have C and G behind C in front view. Similarly, here I have A and E behind A. And last corner of the square, we have B here and F behind B. So let us mark these points also in the top view. So in top view, that is I'm viewing from, that is I'm going to see it from here. So in top view then, I can say that here I'll have point H, and behind point H I'll be able to see the point E. So behind point H I'll see point E. Then behind point D here I'll see point A. This will correspond to point C, behind which D will be located, and here I will have G on the top, behind which F is located. So this is the right side view. So from here when we are looking, what I'll see first, this corner will be G. Behind G, I'll have H. Similarly, this point I'll have F, and behind F, I'll have point E. This point behind F. I'll have point B here, and behind point B, I'll have the point A. And here I'll see the last corner of this square that is seen in right hand view. This will be point C, behind which I'll see the point D. Okay, so now let us try to trace the actual cubes over here. So now let us start with this part of the cube. So here I can see that where does this point correspond to? So H, F, G and H, E, sorry, H, E and G, F. This is this is this region of this cube. All right. So now I know that I need to look at this area. This is the top view. That's why I am saying that I'm considering the top plane, the top square that will be visible in top view. So I'm saying that this is the area which I'm looking at right now. Now, when I look at this same area from the front view, that is in this view, I will see this area as uh, these points. Like, which points do I need to see? I need to see point H and G. So that will be H and G in front view. So here I can see that I have a rectangle over here and a square over here. This means that there's some change in plane here and here. So if you just have the top view, I could guess that maybe it is something like this. For two squares I have a step here, and for one square I have a step here, and it goes all the way down, and this could be the rest of the cube, like this. Or maybe I have a step here and a step up for one cube, and this could be extending here like this, something like this. So to confirm what kind of plane change is there in this row, I will go and check the front view. So in front view, I can see that the point H and G are here and here. So here I'm seeing there's one plane here and one plane that is here. So from the front view, I can say that the point near G, that is this, it is clearly flat. So I have something like this. And then this plane I can see in top view as a rectangle which whose length is equivalent to this length. I see the projection of this slant. So it is actually like this. So the plane here at the back side is something like this. Okay, so this will be G, and if I extend this and come down here, this will be my point H. So here, how do I locate the points, this point and this point? So to locate that point in the isometric projection, to locate this point, what I need to do is I can only trace along the isometric axis, that is this axis, or the vertical axis. So here these axes are this axis, and this axis. So to trace this point or this point over here, from top view I know that I have to come from point G towards left. So I will go from point G towards left. That was easy. Parallel to this axis or parallel to this axis that I've already drawn. So this will be my point. Let's say uh, I've done till H. So I'll name this as, let us say, M. So this point M will come here. Now this point N is here. So in top view, I know that I need to go two more blocks to the left. This is because I cannot directly take this length and mark it directly here, because this length is neither parallel to the vertical axis or parallel to any of the isometric axis. So to trace the end points, I need to go parallel to some of the isometric axis. So now to get n, I need to trace this as two blocks here, two blocks down. So similarly, I'll go two blocks to the left and two blocks down. So here is my point N, which I can now join. Similarly, I'll have the square here and the slant over here. Okay, so this part is done. Now let us come to this part. So if you're looking at this one, this part corresponds to the line which is common to HEDA, that is this part of the curve, which is not curve, this part of the cube. So now here it corresponds to this column of the um, this column. So this is top view, this front view. Yes, so this column of the cuboid. So now from this figure, I can see that there is only one square visible over here. Like this, there's only one line, and this there is no line here. So there's only one line. So that means that after this particular slope that we drew, after this particular slope, there is nothing for one square, and from a square below, we have a continuous two blocks like this. So here I have it like this. So I'll just make a fair drawing here. So till now we drew this part of the cube, this part and this part. Now from this one I'm going to trace the blocks corresponding to this area of the cube. So from the front view I can say that there's nothing in this square, there's no plane change. So I'll just come down here one more block, and which will correspond to, so to locate this point, it is like going one side of cube up. So this is my point here, and here this point N is already here. So from point N to come to this point, from point N to come to this point, I will go one square side down. So here I come, and when I join these two, I'll have the block over here. So this is the block. Now let us come to So let us now come to this part that I'm seeing over here. That is, I'm going to draw a line for, I'm going to trace it for, see, from point G, I have to come here. From point G, here, I have to come till this point, which means in top view, so this line is basically this axis, and this line is basically my this axis, second axis. So along G, I have to come here to locate this, and then this is the rectangle that I'm going to trace right now. So get this point, I'll come another square side here parallel to AB. So this is the area, that this is the part of cuboid that I'm going to try to trace right now. So this, from the front view, I see that it is a slant like this. So that means that from where is it a slant? From one square side below the point G or C. That is, I need to come down here and then I'll have a slant till there. So how do I locate this point? So this point is either this or this point, that this line is basically seen as a point over here. So to locate either this point or this point, so let us try to locate this point. So I have to come down here and come one step to the right. But in which plane? So this tracing is in this top plane here. So if I draw a line perpendicular to this, and then I need to see where I need to, till where I need to come down, I need to check the front view. So till where I need to come down, I need to come down by two blocks. So 1 and 2, I'll have to come down. And that is where my end of this slope will be. So here, and this one is like this. So let us just try to draw this block in fair. Okay, so here I have it like this, and then I need to take the slope here, so I have to trace it. So to trace, actually I can use the gray pen. So I will trace it here by gray pen, one step down. So this is my point, and one step parallel, this will be other point where the slope touches. So this is how the slope will look. Now the next is I need to come down from here two steps, that is to locate this point of this slope. So from here I will go down, let me use the gray pen. From here I'll go down one step like this, and I'll have a block like this over here. I'll have a block like this, and then here it is like I'm coming down one, Then I need to trace this point. So it is some, so that is 2 blocks below this point, or 1 block above this point, right? So um, this is basically the point where I need to touch this line. So this is how this will look, and similarly I'll have a slope over here like this, and then the last slope, this one, it will come over here. So there is basically nothing in this square, so I will complete the figure by joining these lines. So now let us finally trace the final figure with a dark color. So this one square is here, this square is over here, I'm sorry, rectangle. So this is how the block is actually in the isometric view. Now let us just check if, so right now we drew this figure just by referring to the top view and the front view, because what happened is all the slopes that are there were visible in the front view. There was no such thing that was visible only in the right hand side view. So we will use the right hand side view as a cross check whether our figure is correct or not. So in right hand side view, as I had named it before, so this is A, this point is B, this will be, so if I trace a point here and here, this will be my point D, sorry, C, and this is D. Behind, like the inside corner, this is E, F, G, and H. So now here, if I see this, this is this corner. So from, we are viewing from this plane now. So let us try to draw the uh, what do I say, right hand side view here. So here, this is the flat line. Then I came down, again a flat line, completely came down, and this particular block will appear as a square over here. So if you can see here, this is the same thing that I have drawn. So we can assume that the drawing that we have made is correct. Well, let us similarly try to draw this. So this one is a lot easier. So this is actually having 4 pillars like this here, and from here I can see it's just this. Here also there is a U like this. Similarly, here I won't have anything like this. This line is going to stay blank, and I will directly have a cube over here extending all the way up to the second block over here. So this figure is going to look something like this. So this one was very easy. This is just like a upside down table. And this one, let us try to trace it. So here I can see three squares. That means there is three change of planes here. And in front view, I can see there is just one plane, and I can see just this thing. So now what is happening here, I need to see in the right hand side view. So um so this particular thing is here, and from front, so this is actually, there's a square over here. It has gone one cube down. So to locate this point, I will go this way and this way on a plane parallel to this one. So this is my point. I will mark this, and then like it is seen here, I will come here that corresponds to this square, and straight away two blocks down like here. And then let us try to see this particular rectangle. So here I can see that it is a slant like this. All right. So that slant may correspond to either this square or this square. So that we need to check only from the right hand side view. So from here, I don't see any line over here. That means this part is straight away continuing here, which means that this slant is only the square. So I'll draw a slant here. So to locate this point, now I'm looking from the front view. So I'll draw lines parallel in this plane to locate this point. So this, I'm looking in this plane, which is this plane. So to locate this point now, from this point I'll come here and here. This is what I did. I came here and then came down. So this is my final point here. And I'll join that slope. And then this cube is something like this. So now in right hand side view, uh, that is when you're viewing from here, or here in this figure, or in this figure you're viewing again from here. So right hand side view, you can see that there is a slant over here. So that slant will be visible in the top view, that is this slant. So this is this slant that I'm seeing. So I have already drawn this cube looking at this figure, and now I will join this slant. So let us trace the so okay, this slant is done here. What is here then? So this slope is here. Ah, so this line, what we see, this line is like there is a block over here. This line is telling that there is a block over here. So behind this slant, you have a rectangle. So let us now finally trace the final figure. So I will rub this out. So just to remind you once again, this is the top view. So I will be looking at this plane. This is front view. So I will be looking at this plane. This is right hand side view. So I will be looking at this plane. So that's why now finally I will just redraw the figure that we discussed right now. So uh, this is one cube over here. From right hand side view, I see there is a slant here, and I'm viewing in the right hand side view, which corresponds to this plane, which corresponds to this plane, which corresponds to this plane here. So I will be to trace this point, to trace this point here. I will move parallel to the sides of this particular plane. So I'll either move here and here. So that's why to locate this point, then I'm going to move parallel to the plane here one block and here, or here and here. So then I have this slope, and from top view I see that this slope extends till this point. So top view corresponds to this plane. So to locate this point, I'm going to move parallel to the sides of this plane, that is this plane here. So I will move parallel to this line or this line. So I will move here, and this is my slope. And this is the final square of the uh, block. Now I have to trace this slope. So this is from the front view. So front view corresponds to this plane. So front view corresponds to this plane. Now, so to trace this, I will either move this way and this way. So I'm going to move parallel to the sides of this plane. So, uh, so I will move from this point, that is this point, to here, and then one step down. So this is my point where I need to reach. So I will draw a slant over here. Similarly, a parallel slant over here and join this. So this is the slant. Now this one cube is here. This cube in front view is in this line, and from here I can see that it is just a cube and there is a plane change after this. So I'll have a cube here, and then in the right hand side view I can see there is a slant over here, and if I come one step down, so I'm moving here like this. So I'm looking at this plane. So I need to come down one more step, and then I can join this to make this block. So finally, then we have this isometric view. Okay, so let us stop here for today. If you have any doubts, you can always contact through the discussion forums or maybe through mail.